All right, guys, today we're going to solve equations that have variables on both sides. So this is something new. You weren't shown this in seventh grade. So a new standard, make sure you take out notebook paper and a pencil and you take notes. So once you learn how to do it from some of the examples that I've taught, I want you to start pausing the video and trying some of the problems on your own and then unpausing to see if you get them correct, okay? All right, so normally when you solve an equation, you only have a variable either on the left or the right. But in cases like this, so for instance, if you look at number one, notice right here, look on the left side, there's a y variable on this side, and look on the right side, there's a y variable on that side. So we're going to talk about what you do to turn this into a two-step equation, which is what you're used to working with, okay? A two-step equation will only have a variable on one side. All right, hold on 1 second, guys. If you're just joining the meet, read this message, okay? You don't have to do the meet today. Read this. If you have questions, I need you to pop back in the meet for me, okay? I'll leave it on. You pop back in the meet and ask me your question. All right, guys, let's get started. All right, so the steps to solving an equation that has variables on both sides. So the first step is going to be to use the distributive property if necessary. And I say if necessary because you may not have parentheses. So I'm just going to use the distributive property to remove parentheses. Let me erase this because I don't have enough room. I see I'm going to have to write it smaller. And make sure you're taking notes and writing this down. Okay, that's the first step. All right, the second step will be to combine any like terms. Okay, so when I say combine any like terms, I need you to make this note. Like terms must be on the same side to combine them. If they're not on the same side, you can't combine them. Like for instance, if you look at number one, you see 5y on the left side of this equal sign and 3y on the right side of this equal sign. You couldn't put those together and say that makes 8y because they're not on the same side of the equal sign. So when I say same side, I mean they all, if you're going to combine like terms, those terms must be all on the left side of the equal sign, or you can only combine like terms on the right side of the equal sign. So you just can't like cross over and combine these. Okay, you can't cross over this equal sign and combine them. All right, the third step is going to be to remove one of the variables. By using an inverse operation. So you're just going to do the opposite of one of the variables or the variable terms. And let me just remove one of the variable terms. Let me go back. Remove one of the variable terms by using an inverse operation. And then lastly, you're going to solve. You're going to end up with like a two-step equation in most cases, but we're just going to solve the equation the way you normally would, okay? Let me go up here and title this. This is solving equations with variables on both sides. All right, so let's take a look at an example. Okay, I happen to have to draw in the line to separate the left side from the right side. Okay, so it says, number one, use the distributive property to remove any parentheses. Okay, on number one, I see none. Okay, look at step two. Combine any like terms. Like terms must be on the same side to combine them. Well, if you look on the left side, there are no like terms. Right here, no like terms. Look on the right side, there are no like terms. That's a 3y and a 12. So you're not going to be combining any like terms on the left or the right. So I'm going to go on to step three. Step three says remove one of the variable terms by using an inverse operation. Okay, so I can either remove the 5y or I can either remove the 3y. I'm sorry, guys. My touchscreen is not doing what it should. But just to show you all, I'm going to start off by removing the 5y term. And then I'm going to erase it and show you how to remove the 3y term, okay? Hold on one second. I'm responding to a student. Okay. All right, so I'm going to start off by getting rid of this 5y term. So it says perform an inverse operation. So anytime you remove a variable term, you just simply change the sign. Okay, so you may want to make that little note. To remove a variable term, you just change the sign of the whole variable term. It's like getting rid of a regular number. All right, so I'm going to put it right here. Change the sign of the variable term. That's how you remove it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to change the sign of 5y. So 5y, the opposite of positive 5y is negative 5y. But what I have to do the one side, I also carry into the other. Line them up where the like terms are matching. You don't want to put the negative 5y underneath the 12 because they're not like terms. All right, 5y minus 5y, they're going to cancel, leaving me with negative 8. And then 3y minus 5y is negative 2y. And bring down the plus 12. Okay, so what do you see? You see a two-step equation. That's what's left. So on that two-step equation, all you're going to do is look on the side where your variable is left. My variable is left on this right side. So what I need to do now is get rid of the negative 2 and the 12. The question becomes, which one do we get rid of first? Well, this is a basic two-step equation, and we've learned to get rid of the one that's farther from the variable. So which one is farther from the variable, the negative 2 or the 12? Well, the negative 2 is attached. So let's get rid of 12 first. All right, so how do you get rid of 12? Well, 12 is not attached. It's farther away. To get rid of anything that's farther away or not attached to your variable, again, you just change the sign. So positive 12 goes to negative 12. What you do to one side, do to the other. Negative 8 and negative 12 make negative 20. These cancel, and you're left with negative 2 times y. Now, this is negative 2 times y. So I don't want to put plus 2 underneath here. Because it's negative 2 times y, I want to do the opposite of multiplication, which is division. So I'm going to divide by negative 2. And you all know when we use multiplication or division, we don't change the sign. So if it's negative 2, we divide by negative 2 or multiply by it. So here, negative 20 divided by negative 2 is positive 10. So our y, in this case, the y that would make the left side equal to the right side is a 10. And you can check it out. So if I go in here and I say 5, instead of 5 times y, I say 5 times 10. Well, what is 5 times 10? 5 times 10 is 50. And 50 minus 8 is 42. Okay? Now let's put a 10 on this side. What is 3 times 10? 3 times 10 is 30. But add 12, I also get 42. So 10 is the only number that will make this side equal to that side if I change y to 10. Okay, now I said I was going to show you where you can get rid of the 5y or the 3y, because some people are going to say, well, which variable term do I get rid of? I really don't care which variable term you get rid of. You just choose one and then change the sign of the variable term to get rid of it, okay? All right, so I'm going to erase this, and I'm going to show you that you could have also gotten rid of the 3y. Again, totally up to you. So now I'm going to show you by getting rid of the 3y. Okay, so I'm going to remove it by changing the sign of the variable term. So 3y will go to negative 3y. So here I end up with 2y minus 8. These cancel equals to 12. Now you got a basic two-step equation. Now what side is the variable on? Now the variable is on the left side. So what I need to do now is get rid of the 2 and the minus 8. Well, the 2 is attached and the minus 8 is farther away. So what I'll do is get rid of the minus 8 by changing the sign. Again, if it's farther away, just change the sign. All right, so the opposite of minus 8 or negative 8 is plus 8. Add 8 to both sides. So you're going to end up with 2y equals to 20. This is 2 times y. The opposite of multiplication is division. So now you get y equals to 10. So I hope you all can see, I don't care which variable term you choose to remove. Just remove one of them by changing the sign of the variable term, okay? All right, let's take a look at 2. All right, so if you take a look at 2, you see that you don't have parentheses, so you're not doing step 1. You don't have any like terms on the left or on the right that you can combine, so we're not doing step 2. So we're going to go straight to step 3. We're going to remove one of those variable terms by using an inverse operation. Basically, we're going to change the sign of a variable term. I'm going to change the sign of this negative 8x, and I'm going to put positive 8x. Some of you may change the sign of the negative 6x. It's up to you. You should have, if you do that, you should put positive 6x. Make sure you get the same answer I do. All right, negative 6x plus 8x is 2x. So I have 2x plus 14 equals to 12 because these will cancel. Now, again, you're at a basic two-step equation. So I'm going to get rid of the 14 with a negative 14. I changed the sign. So now you have 2x equals to negative 2. Divide both sides by 2 because it's 2 times x. So I don't want to put minus 2. I want to do the opposite of multiplication, which is division. And I get negative 2 divided by 2 is negative 1. Just that simple, guys. All right, if you're just joining the meet, I need you to make sure that you read the instructions right here because this is what you're going to do today, okay? All right, guys, I'm going to work number 3. I'm also recording a video, so if I'm talking, ignore me. Just read this, and this is what you do first period, okay? All right, so on number 3, I'm going to show you 2 ways to work this because the second way will look kind of weird. All right, right now, I choose to get rid of the 3k term because I don't have parentheses. I don't have like terms on each side, so I'm straight to step 3 again. So I'm going to get rid of the 3k term by changing the sign. So I'm going to put negative 3k. And I would suggest that you do the problem this way, and I'll tell you why in just a second. That you get rid of this 3k. If you get rid of 7k, it's going to look weird on this side, but I will show you that in just a minute. All right, so 7k minus 3k is 4k. These will cancel, leaving us with negative 36. And now you're down not to a 2-step, but to a 1-step equation. So all you have to do now is just get rid of the 4. What is the opposite of multiplying by 4? Well, the opposite of multiplying by 4 is dividing by 4. So k is equal to negative 9, and I'm done. All right, I'm going to show you something different. Suppose instead of the 3k term that you wanted to get rid of the 7k term. I'm going to show you why it looks a little weird, okay? So if you get rid of the 7k term, you're going to end up with negative 7k on the left and on the right. But if you look right here, it cancels. So what's left on that side if everything cancels? Okay, well, nothing. Well, in math, we represent nothing with a certain number. What number do we use to represent nothing in math? Well, that would be a 0. So you have to put that 0 over here. Now on something like this, oh, let me undo that. on something like this, when you do 3K minus 3K, you don't have to put the 0 because you're left with negative 36. So you could just bring down the negative 36. Now, if you put 0, you're going to end up with 0 minus 36, which is still negative 36. It's a waste of pencil lead, okay? But in this case, since there's nothing left to bring down, you have to put what nothing represents in math, which you have to put what represents nothing in math, which is 0, okay? All right, back to this. 3K minus 7K is negative 4K minus 36. Now you're looking on this side. You're looking on the right side because that's where your variable is. So what number is farther away from your K, not attached to your K? The one that is not attached is the one you change the sign of. So negative 36 is not attached. I'm going to change the sign and make it positive 36. 0 plus 36 is 36. And it's going to be equal to negative 4K. You're going to divide both sides by negative 4. And you still get negative 9 is equal to K. Now, I prefer you do it this way because some students get confused when they get over here. They'll say 7K minus 7K cancels and forget to write 0. And the whole equation will look weird to them. So I prefer you, if you have only one variable term on one side, get rid of the other variable term that has something else on the other side with it. All right, I'm not going to work 4. I am going to work 5 because some people may not know what's in front of that M on this side, but I hope you all do. All right, I'm going to put an imaginary 1 here because it doesn't have a coefficient. The coefficient is just a number attached to the variable. So if I put that imaginary 1 there, then I can just start looking at my steps. Do you see parentheses? No. Do you see any like terms on the left side? No. Do you see any like terms on the right side? No. So now I'm going to remove one of the variable terms by changing the sign. So I'm going to change the sign of the 1M. I'm going to make it negative 1M. I'm going to make it positive 1M. So I'm looking at 11 equals to 51 minus 5M. Now I have a basic two-step equation. My M is on the right, so I need to remove that negative 5 and 51. Well, which one is not attached to the M? That would be 51. So I change the sign to 51, making it negative 51. So I end up with negative 40 equals to negative 5M. Divide both sides by negative 5. And 8 is equal to M. And that's that, guys. That's what you do. If you don't see a coefficient or a number attached to a variable, go ahead and put your imaginary 1. All right, let's go to 7. 7, do you see parentheses? Yeah, I see parentheses on what side? The left side. So guess what? I got to use the distributive property. All right, so here you're going to end up with 18p minus 3. And on the right, I'm going to end up with 11p minus 45. Okay, so now I have removed the parentheses by using the distributive property. Now I check the left side for like terms. Okay, checking the left side for like terms. No, I don't see any. No like terms there. Check the right side for like terms. No like terms there. Okay, so now I'll move on to step 3, which is remove one of the variable terms. I don't care which one you remove, just get rid of one of them for me. All right, so I'm going to get rid of the 11p. Change the sign to get rid of a variable term. The reason why I'm saying variable term, you're moving the whole term, or getting rid of the whole term. 18p minus 11p is 7p minus 3. These are going to cancel, leaving me with negative 45 on the right side. Now you have a basic two-step equation, so I'm going to change the sign to the negative 3, making it positive 3, because we're getting rid of the one that's farther away from the variable by changing the sign of it. Now we're left with 7p equals to negative 42. And divide both sides by 7. So the value of p is simply negative 6. And that's that. All right, let's go ahead and check 8. Remember, on these, you're supposed to be, pausing the video and checking to see if you get any of it, before I do, if you want to check your understanding, all right? All right, so on number 8, I see parentheses on the left and the right. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to say 2 times 8, 4w is 8w. I'm using the distributive property on both sides. 2 times negative 1 is negative 2. Hold on one second, guys. Okay. Now, let's use the distributive property over here. So negative 10 times W is negative 10W. Negative 10 times negative 3 is positive 30. The negative 10 does not distribute to the 4 because the 4 is not in parentheses, so you just bring it down. All right, now I'm going to check the left side for like terms. No like terms here. Now I'm going to check the right side for like terms. Okay, do you see any like terms on the right side? Well, constants, which are regular numbers, are also like terms. So I see two constants. I see the constant 30, and the constant 4. I can go ahead and say 30 plus 4 is 34. So I'm going to combine those because they're like terms. So I have 8W minus 2 equals to negative 10W plus 34. Okay, I've gotten my like terms together. Now I'm going to move on to step 3, remove one of the variable terms. So I'm going to choose to get rid of the negative 10W. So how do you get rid of a variable term? Getting rid of a variable term, you just change the sign. So I'm going to change it to positive 10W. So you end up with 2W minus 2. These will cancel, equals to 34. And then you have a basic two-step equation. So now you're just going to get rid of the negative 2 with a positive 2. So we have 2W equals to 36. And since I'm out of room, I'm going to go here. The opposite of multiplying by 2 is dividing by 2. So W is equivalent to 18. And that's that, guys. All right, let's try something like number 11. Okay, let's try number 11. All right, looking at 11, I see parentheses on the left side and the right side, but on number 11, there is no number directly in front of the parentheses. So as you all may have guessed or know, you need to put an imaginary 1 for me, okay? All right, now I don't want you saying 5x times anything. The only thing you distribute is the negative 1. So this right in here, you use the distributive property with this portion. That means with this, you're simply going to break it down right now because you're not going to do anything with it right now. But you're going to use the distributive property here, and you're going to use the distributive property here on the right side, okay? The 6 you're also just going to bring down. So you're going to have 5x. If you're just joining the meet, make sure you read these instructions, okay?
Ms. Baloo.
Uh-huh.
I didn't see the questions on the quiz, and I submitted it.
Did you open it in Cami?
Yes, ma'am. I had turned it in.
And you didn't see the questions?
No, ma'am. But I had, when my friend told me we had questions, I had realized it when I went back on there.
Oh my goodness, you didn't open it in Cami, then you would have seen those questions.
It didn't pop up until I went back and looked.
Who is this? Amaya?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, let me return it to you. I'm recording a video right now. I'll be finished in about 10 minutes, and then I'm returning it to you, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
You just get it in to me before 11:59 tonight.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, so negative 1 times x is negative 1x. Negative 1 times negative 18 is positive 18. Here I'm just going to bring down this 6. And negative 2 times x is negative 2x, using the distributive property. Negative 2 times 15 is positive. It's not positive 30. It's negative 30. Hold on, guys. All right, and then I'm going to check the left side for any like terms. So looking at the left side, do you see any like terms? I do. 5x minus 1x. Well, 5x minus 1x is 4x. So you're going to have 4x plus 18. And then on the right side, I see like terms. The like terms there are 6 and negative 30. There are two constants. So what is 6 minus 30? Well, that's negative 24. They're going to bring down the negative 2x. All right, so I'm going to get rid of the 4x because now I've gotten the parentheses out of the way by using the distributive property. I've combined like terms, so now I'm going to get rid of a variable term. I'm going to get rid of the 4. I'm going to change the sign of the 4x to negative 4x. Make sure you line up like terms together. Don't put that negative 4x underneath the negative 24. So now I'm looking at 18 equals to negative 24 minus 6x. Now I have a basic two-step equation. I'm going to be working from the right side because that's where my variable is. I'm going to get rid of this negative 24 with a positive 24. So I end up with 42 equals to negative 6x. And the opposite of multiplying by negative 6 is dividing by. So negative 7 is equivalent to x, or x is equivalent to negative 7, guys. All right, I'm going to work number 12, and that's going to be it. I'm going to load this video up after I do that, okay? And I'm sorry, you will have homework attached. I apologize, but it won't be due until Sunday night at 11:59, okay? All right, so here we have 8y. Here we have 32 when we use the distributive property. Here we have negative 2y. And here is positive 2 when you multiply. Do not use the distributive property on the right because there are no parentheses. So I have to combine a bunch of like terms on the left. Some like terms that I see already are 8y and negative 2y, which makes 6y. I also see constants that are like, that's positive 32 and positive 2, which gives me positive 34. And then I don't see any more like terms. I see none on the right. So I'm going to go ahead and remove a variable term. I'm going to remove that negative 3y by changing the sign. Now again, you could have removed 6y with a negative 6y. But if you do that, make sure your answer matches mine. If not, we need to talk about it one day during the meet, okay? So here we have 9y plus 34 equals to 70. If you're just joining the meet, read the directions here, okay? All right, so now you have a basic two-step equation. You're going to get rid of 34 with negative 34. So have 9y equals to 36. And you're going to divide both sides by 9 because the opposite of multiplying by 9 is dividing by. And you should get a y value of 4. So I hope everybody understands this. It's pretty simple. Once you use the distributive property and combine like terms, and you get rid of, even getting rid of the variable term is easy. And you just turns into a basic two-step equation. It's pretty simple to do. But if you have questions, you can shoot me an email and say, Miss Blue, I still didn't get it. Or we can talk about it during the meet when we have it on Monday, okay? Again, I didn't do 9 and 10. Let me see if I can tell you what the answer should be real quick. So if you want to try it, you can. So you have 12m minus 27. 7m plus 43. That's going to give you 5m. And that's going to end up being 70. Okay, so you should probably end up, I think this would be 14. And then on the other one, you can check it and see if you end up with that, okay? It's 2a. It's going to be negative 14a, negative 37. Okay, so that's going to be negative 12a. That's going to be 60. Okay, so on this one, you should end up with negative 5. All right, but you can try those and see if you get those, okay? But your homework, I'm going to attach it in Google Classroom. It's going to be number 2. So you have the recording today. Your homework that'll be number 1. You'll watch it. And then number 2, what you'll do is you'll work on the homework again. It won't be due until Sunday at 11:59, okay? I may make it be due Saturday. Yeah, I'll probably make it be due Saturday. That way I can grade it on Sunday and I'll be able to get everything back to you in a timely fashion, okay? So let's try Saturday by midnight. Sorry you got homework over the weekend. I apologize. All right, that's it, guys. Thank you.